What is going on, guys? The Real KJ3 here, and right here in front of me I have a complete in-box Intel motherboard model D865 Pearl. This motherboard is from the early 2000s, and I plan to do a complete Windows XP build with hardware from that era. Opening up the box, we see that the motherboard is still in its anti-static bag. Up top we have the IDE cables and one SATA cable. Underneath the motherboard we have some quick reference guides and some product warranty stuff that I'm not really ever going to look at. All the information about the board in case I need it. Product updates for Windows 98 USB 2.0 support. And this reseller offer for the Seagate Barracuda, back when 7200 RPM was still the new thing. Here's something you don't see every day. You put that inside of your PC case for a reference of where everything's at on the motherboard. And right here we have the driver CD, which I'm sure we're going to need. Looking at the motherboard, everything seems fine, nice and clean and intact, but I do notice some bulging capacitors, which should probably be a really good idea to replace. And they're all the same, which is good, so I don't have to order 50 different capacitors. But they all seem to be right there, and then two of them that are offset. So I'm going to save the time and cut right to the fixed capacitors. So insert jump cut here, multiple capacitor replacements later. Alrighty, the new capacitors are installed and soldered on. The cool thing is they're the same size as the other ones, and they're not taller, so it makes it look a lot more cleaner. But let's get to the actual assembly. As you can see, I've already installed my Pentium 4 2.6 GHz single core processor. Now it's time to put it in the case. But before I do that, let's go over the specs. I plan to pair this up with 2 GB of Corsair DDR RAM, a DVD and CD drive, both IDE, a basic floppy drive, an 80 gig Seagate Barracuda 7200 RPM, and here's one of the case fans I got for cheap off Amazon, and a stock Intel cooler. And last but not least, 400 watt CoolMax power supply. First I'm going to attach the CPU fan to the motherboard. Next I'm going to put in the I/O shield before I forget. And after that came the motherboard, and now it is time to install the other peripherals. And thankfully I had that quick reference guide because the pinout on this front panel I/O was pretty different, to say the least. So while installing XP Home Edition, I realized some of my footage went corrupt, and that was just me installing the power supply, the graphics card, and a few other PCI cards in the first boot, unfortunately. But one of the RAM cards actually faulted out, so right now I only have 1 GB inside of it. And as far as the graphics card goes, I went with an ATI Radeon 9000 Pro 64 MB AGP card. And I think with the processor it has in it, it should balance out equally for the games that I want on it, and it should perform fairly well. Alright, let's let it boot up for the first time and see if we have any video or audio drivers. Well, no luck on the audio. Let me see if the speakers on my monitor are working correctly, because I'm pretty sure they were last time I used them, if I remember what buttons to push. Alright, no luck on that. Let's just continue with this setup. Nope, don't need to protect the PC because it's just too out of date. I will be using this computer. Next. Thank you for your support and patronage. Fantastic. The screen never gets old. Kinda sucks not hearing the Windows start up. Alright, we have successfully made it to the desktop. I was starting to think it hung. So I'm going to check the properties here and see if it has any display drivers, because it seems that it does, and it does. Cool. It has the Microsoft drivers for the Radeon 9000, and I actually don't think I'm going to keep it like that, so I don't have to put any more unnecessary software on the computers. Plus, I'll be able to see how it performs. So let's see about the sound drivers, and it doesn't seem to detect them at all. So I'm going to put in the CD, and hopefully that solves that issue there, because I'm just using the onboard audio. I don't have any other PCI cards as far as the sound goes. So let me see what other hardware it's not detecting, or see if it can auto-detect anything, and grab drivers from the XP CD, which I kind of doubt because it seems everything is already working as it should. So I guess I'll see the list of what's not detected. Okay, so it looks like it's just the audio and one of the telephone cards, which I'm not concerned about too hard as far as the driver's missing, because I'm not going to use it. It's really just there for looks. Okay, so I've inserted the driver CD, and for some reason the auto execute program doesn't want to work, so I'm going to have to install the drivers manually. So I'm going to go into software, see what this application is. I think this is just kind of like the bloatware that comes with the motherboard, which I really don't need any of this, but I mean, I think DirectX 8.1 will be good to have on there. Other than that, I'm not too concerned. I'm sure as hell ain't putting Norton Internet Security on here, even though that would be pretty funny. But I'm going to go over into the drivers and into the audio, and hopefully this fixes my audio problem. If not, I'm sure I'll be able to go onto Intel's website and grab the drivers from there. Okay, so I'm getting an error message talking about it requires an up-to-date Microsoft Windows 98 SE or 2000 operating system, but I'm pretty sure it'll still work with XP, so I'm just going to go ahead and hit OK and see what happens. Worst case scenario, I'll just go to Intel's website like I said. Yes, I do want to restart the computer, or hopefully it installed okay. I don't know if you guys are able to hear that, but we do have working sound now, so mission accomplished. Alright, I'm just going to put the setting as regular computer speakers. Hit OK. So now let's turn up the actual volume. Alright, my speakers are working, the drivers are working. Looks like the software's working as well, so let's go ahead and try a test song here. The old classic Windows Media Player 9. Ah, those visuals will never get old. Let's go ahead and close out and take a look at the system properties and make sure everything's the way it needs to be. If it'll let me. There we go. Alright. Windows key, pause, break. Alright, Pentium 4 2.66 GHz with 1 GB of RAM, which I do plan to re-upgrade in the future, but I'm going to leave it the way it is now. So let's have some fun and jump into some games. First up, as usual, 4x4 Evo. No matter what XP machine I have, whether it's a gamer or an office machine, it's gotta have this game on it, no matter what. Let's go ahead and change the view. And right from the get-go on stock settings, it's running like butter. Man, this is great. No clipping, no lagging. I'm pretty sure this is running off the DirectX driver, not the software renderer. So that's even better. Might change the resolution in a second to see if it runs any faster or worse. So let's go ahead and enjoy it for a second and get some things drawn on the screen, see what it can really do. I've had so much fun with this game, trying out all the different trucks and cars and whatnot, and I never beat it. Never really played too many races. I've always loved to just drive around in the hills and in the snow and the train yard and whatnot. Man, this game was just such a big part of my computer childhood. Always fun no matter what. All the way back then and all the way now. Alright, so let's go ahead and change the resolution to the max. That's 1600 by 1200 with a color depth of 32. We're going to leave it on the Direct 3D renderer. So let's see if there's any difference. Well, it looks a little sharper. Still moving really smooth. Well, let's go ahead and jump into Time Attack here and see what what we can get compared to the lowest resolution. Let me change up the truck here. I think I'll go with the Silverado. Alright, let's see what we get here. Still running like butter. Man, that makes me happy right there. But this isn't the only game I'm going to test out. I'm going to test out another classic of mine that I loved to play when I was younger. And that classic is LEGO Racers 2. As much as I loved the first one, I always have fond memories of it on the PlayStation, but mostly the Nintendo 64 when I first got it. Haven't played it too much for other than the other computers that I tested out with it, playing this game on PC. But I haven't really gave LEGO Racers 2 its chance, but when I did, I remember that I absolutely loved it. So I think this will be rather fitting, trying this out now and playing a little bit of it. Alright, I'm going to cut to the main menu here. Let's go into the game options real fast and see what we got going on as far as the graphics. So let's go ahead and turn that up all the way. Turn image quality up. Compression, leave that alone, and screen resolution. And let's set that to its highest. And exit, and let's see if it crashes. Nope, everything still looks good. Let's see the controls here. Okay, yeah, they're kind of similar to the first game, so let's go ahead and back out of that. Can't start a new game without building a character and a car first. However, I am seeing that at the bottom of the screen, things seem to be getting clipped off, so I might have to back up the resolution here. I'm going to keep the color depth, but I'm going to bring it down one size, so let's see if that fixes the clipping issue. There we go, okay. Alright, so let's go ahead and jump into either a race or a time attack. Let's go with Sandy Bay. Go with the Dig-A-Brick. Just keep the name, and I'll just go with my character. Decided not to build a car, but I'll go with this dump truck thing, excavator, whatever the hell you want to call it. So let's see how it handles on its highest resolution. And we're off. And we're running real smooth. First checkpoint. And second. Man, I'm really happy this is running smooth. Seems to be a lot going on the screen. It's not spitting, it's not sputtering. At least, so far it's not. A little off track here. Yeah, the water looks good. Even at close and far distances, it doesn't seem to be lagging at all, so that's a good sign. Well, I hope you guys are enjoying so far, and if you are, be sure to check out the next part because that's going to do it for this portion of the video. If you guys enjoyed, be sure to check out the rest of the channel where I upload videos such as this one, and be sure to check out the Instagram at therealkj3.exe where I post pictures and videos regarding stuff like this. I hope you guys enjoyed and learned a thing or two. If you did, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.